It's Brian Preston, the money guy.
This next question, Brian, is from the Gulpin.
Oh.
That's I don't know what that is, but the Gulpin. I'm 25 and I have a high income but low rent, so I'm able to save, i.e. invest, almost 50%. Since you guys always advise 20 to 25%, should I dial it back? And what should I do with the rest? We get this question all the time, not often from 25-year-olds saving 50%, but we get this question around, can I save too much? Or how do I know if I'm saving too much? Or should I only save 25%? Do I need to just go find ways to put money somewhere else? What advice would you give the Gulpin? And then how would you sort of answer that question from sort of a macro level?
So, I mean, look, the studio has been upgraded. We got cool lighting all around us. It's hanging from the ceiling and stuff. I kind of wish, Jimmy Fallon, when he writes his thank you notes, has that piano music kind of kick in and stuff. I wish we had that so I could help the Gulpin understand all the life decisions that he's facing and needs to consider and help navigate this, because I really do think it's one of those things where he's got to ask himself, what's the why? What am I doing this all for? What's the reason I'm doing it? Because I think that everybody's a little different. If he is, because he gave some key indicators there, is that he's in a high income situation, low expenses, kind of a very, it's
the best place to be.
Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of money going out towards life. That gives him the complete clarity to figure out, what does the long-term future look like? Now, look, if he's somebody who wants to retire pre-60, maybe you're part of that financial independence, retire early movement, then you might have to keep the foot on the accelerator and keep saving at heavy levels, because the why is that I've got to keep building up these assets because I'm leaving the workforce earlier than a normal or traditional person has done in the past. However, if you're somebody and you find that you're eating ramen every night, and maybe his rent is so low because he's living down in the basement, and that's impacting, when he can have friends over, or dating and other things, then I would say you have to ask yourself the why.
What's the why?
Should lifestyle be expanded so that you're not living that miserly life? Because that is a problem. That's a balance there that I think everybody needs to take into account. And that's what he really does. I don't know enough. It's hard. You can't give financial advice in a very snapshot like this where we have two sentences, but it is one of those things where I can take indicators and tell him exercises he needs to do for himself to make sure that he's on the right path.
Yeah, I'll just share sort of anecdotally. I got married pretty young, so I didn't have this exact experience where I had a higher income and lower expenses. But, savings rate early on, when we could eat cereal and we'd have to spend money on stuff, we had a high savings rate. I can't tell you how happy I am now sitting where I'm sitting that I was able to put those dollars to work. So I agree, there's a difference in being miserly and just getting a jump on things, getting out early. So if you are someone who can take advantage of, maybe I do have a 30, 40, 50% savings rate for this season that I'm in, I think that's okay. I tell people all the time, don't feel like you have to back down to 25% and force yourself to have lifestyle creep. Maybe for right now in this season, it's okay to have that. Your future self will likely thank you so long as you're not sacrificing the things that you talk about, the quality of life and the things that bring you fulfillment and the things that make you happy in relationships. So long as that's not falling by the wayside so that you can save, I don't think it's crazy to just get a jump on it early in life. Again, because if you go to moneyguy.com/resources, check out our How Powerful Are Your Dollars illustration. That 50% that you can save in your 20s is going to blow your mind when you get to your 40s, 50s, and 60s.
Well, I already think about, because the why is also understanding who you are. I mean, and somebody who, because I gave the living in the basement scenario. Let me give the other one was, I find sometimes the simpler things make you happier.
Yeah, that's right.
It doesn't have to be the luxury. It doesn't have to be the sizzle. So if the Gulpin looks at his life or her life and they're like, hey, maybe this is, I kind of, I don't need much more, then, go just, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, go through the exercise to figure out what makes you happy, because us just telling you go spend more money if that's not your personality, because I think you go out and buy yourself a Rolex, you're not going to go, man, these guys were right. That Rolex was the best thing. I was saving way too much money. I should have been buying luxury goods, 2 years ago. That's not necessarily how this all works. You need to figure out what makes you happy, because that is the one element, because there is somebody, you love drinking coffee.
Yep.
I think, if you were one of these people who was saving 50%, but you're not drinking coffee that brings you happiness,
I'm doing it wrong.
That's not good. It's the same thing if, golf or whatever your hobby is. Balance the quality of life, if something makes you happy, don't think you have to go do something luxurious if you're already getting maximum, benefit out of the situation.